The two men are concerned that even after a stern warning was issued by a high-level delegation that met with the Prime Minister in January to address a number of deficiencies in the local criminal justice system, more specifically, they called for due process to be followed in the case of the IMPACS investigation into extrajudicial police killings. Wayne, hinting that he may have seen sections of that report, questioned the failure of the government through the DPP's office to go after the police officers, businessmen and politicians allegedly named in the document.
The Prime Minister has seen that report. He knows everything about the report.
Yes.
He even mentions people who are fingered in the report.
Yes.
Some of those people may be running for elections.
Yes.
It's more than likely.
I agree.
Do you think it is right that the Prime Minister should permit the electorate possibly to vote for people who are killers?
With an unprecedented number of sexual assault cases being reported on island, attention has been redirected to the forensics lab, which has remained closed for over a year. The National Security Minister has repeatedly been called upon to answer to claims that the security at the lab has been severely compromised. Claims reported in Wayne's Star newspaper months ago and repeated by Francis this week.
The police would go out and investigate matters and bring in cocaine, suspected cocaine to the lab. When the cocaine gets to the lab, the analyst would give a report and indicate that this is cocaine. But somebody or some persons within the lab would then remove the cocaine and put in flour.
According to Francis, the electronic doors of the lab have been tampered with and the CCTV system, while functional, is unmonitored. While the minister has explained that the closure of the lab is not hampering the ability of the police to process evidence, Francis has raised questions about that as well. According to him, DNA samples collected here were sent to a lab in Bermuda, but because the lab lacked the capacity to handle the samples, the work was outsourced to another lab in Illinois in the United States. Not only is Francis concerned about the $400,000 bill that comes with that fact, but he is also worried that the evidence and the cases could potentially be compromised.
You can understand the cross-contamination of these DNA samples. Because now there's going to be this chain of custody, and that is going to be a problem. Lawyers are going to jump all over that, the chain of custody for that evidence.
Wayne went on to reference sections of the report that the government has kept under wraps for several months now, suggesting that he may have been privy to the contents. Attempts to get confirmation from Wayne were unsuccessful. The EU, in a letter to the government last December, called on those responsible to ensure due process according to the St. Lucia criminal law system. It ended by saying that it is in the full interest of all St. Lucians and of EU visitors and investors to see the situation move forward. For the DBS News World, I am Alex Bousquet.